welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is the award-winning host of the Award Wieners Movie Review Podcast. It's David Cross.
What's going on, dude?
Good to have you, man.
Yeah, I'm excited to be here.
And, all right, so thank you for joining me for this very special MFF Trailer Talk. I think this was almost destined to be, because as soon as this Willy's Wonderland trailer was released, I started getting messages on Twitter, Facebook Messenger, text message, Facebook. You message me. Everyone just started messaging me this Nick Cage movie where he battles puppets in a Chuck E. Cheese-esque place where he's supposed to be a human sacrifice. And so you and I got talking, like, well, let's just do a quick trailer talk about this movie, because you and I have covered a lot of Nick Cage, and like over the course of our show, we talked about Mandy, which, yeah, you did Mandy. You were on Mandy.
Yeah, I did.
I mean, Mandy's one of my these all blur together. Mandy's one of my favorite movies of the last 5 years. It really is. I think it's beautiful. Is that a stretch?
Yeah, it's brilliant. It's an amazing film across the board. I love that film.
And so, you know, in this one, we have Nick Cage in a Ringer t-shirt. He's a quiet drifter, tricked into a janitorial job in a now condemned Wally's. Oh, no, they call it Wally's Wonderland. They call it Wally, but it's Willy's. That's interesting. I wonder if, like, Wally World?
It was originally Wally's.
Yeah.
It was originally Wally's Wonderland, and they changed it to Willy's Wonderland, probably to capitalize off of Willy Wonka.
Oh, yeah. And then avoid Wally World.
Oh, yeah, maybe. I don't know. But that's, like, fictitious, too. So
oh, yeah,
I think it's more along the lines of trying to connect the two in people's brains, because... Oh my God, what was that movie?
Well,
The Chocolate Factory.
That was a nightmare in there for those children, getting sucked in a chocolate.
Yeah.
Ooh, I like that. And so the mundane tasks suddenly become an all-out fight for survival against wave after wave of demonic animatronics who have blood. Fists fly, kicks land, titans clash, and only one side will make it out alive.
And it's Nick Cage. Nick Cage is the side that's going to make it out alive. Before we dive too deep in this, I wanted to also say I got a lot of text from people about this movie when the trailer dropped. And I was like, one, I already know about this. Thanks. But two, I was like, did they focus test this with a group of one? And that group of one is me? Like my partner Sarah literally said, like, they came here and like, this is the movie made for you and no one else. This is exactly your movie.
They're recording you right now, and they just know everything about you. They've recorded every episode of Award Wieners and the Movie Films and Flicks podcast and Deep Blue Sea, the podcast, which you joined us. So I think what I like about this movie is, and what I like about Nick Cage is a lot of people have talked about how he does these really horrible films. And yes, he has USS Indianapolis, Primal, Stolen, stuff like that, but Left Behind. But he also takes time to star in movies like Joe with David Gordon Green, which is excellent. The Joe-Mandy combo of him killing trees. Like, it's a great killing tree combo of one-word titles with people's names. He starred in Color Out of Space by Richard Stanley. And that is not an exploitation film by any means. That is a film. It's a proper movie. And so this one, like you said, I mean, this is a good idea, and this was on the Blood List by the writer Geo Parsons. So the Blood List is same as the Blacklist of unproduced horror scripts. And David, you're a producer, right? You're a producer over at Screen Media Films, who has a Chicken Soup for the Soul company, they own Crackle. They recently bought Crackle, and they released Jesus Rolls, the Big Lebowski sequel, and The Outpost, which is like one of my favorite 2020 films. So you're the producer, right? You're sitting in your office, you have a gigantic cigar, you have a gruff voice, you sound like you've been chewing gravel for 30 years, like, oh yeah, who's next? This guy walks in and says, listen, a night janitor at a Chuck E. Cheese-esque place is attacked by demon animatronics, and Nick Cage wants to be in it. You would just yell, cut the check! Like, it's sold.
Yeah. How much is it going to cost? Double
it. How much do you need? Well, after strict budgeting and doing everything, I only need $1 million. You get 3. Right?
Oh, yeah. So I before I forget, like, I recently went through to figure out how many movies Nick Cage has been making every year, and it's like 6 a year.
Wow.
I mean, he's not fully in all. He's not the main star in all these movies, but he has like significant parts in about 6 movies a year in the last 4 or 5 years.
Easy.
And I guess I would say like every 5 or 6 is a banger.
Yes, that's
like he does a bunch of cameos, and then he's like, boom, this movie, Willy's World, and Willy's Wonderland.
That's what makes him interesting, right? you're like, oh, USS Indianapolis, that's crap. But then Mandy comes out, and it's a work of art. And then Color Space comes out, and it's a work of art. And you're just, what is happening with Cage? And so this movie actually shot in Atlanta for a month. Now, when we look through this cast, there's a lot of, like, you know, Beth Grant, who's in here, who I love. She was in, like, Donnie Darko, Speed, No Country for Old Men, a series of unfortunate events. As the cop, you have all these different young actors and actresses who have been in some decent stuff. So Nick Cage probably shows up to this movie for 3 weeks, let's say, or 2 weeks. He does all of his scenes, because then you get the coverage with the other actors, animatronic puppets. So it's easy for him to make these movies. This one, right? It's a home run, and they've already made money on it, I read, because they've already sold off all the foreign rights all around the world. And the reason being is the guy who owns the company, he's like, people are interested in this because it's genre, and it's also a potential cult classic with Nick Cage. So they've already made money on this movie before it came out. So give Nick Cage $2 million, put a couple mil into the movie, and this is a very smart formula, David, and it looks beautiful.
It's what, it was like a $5 million budget?
Yeah, and like half that goes to Cage, probably, because he's the one that get you foreign sales. He's the one that gets you, almost every single publication shared this trailer. So it's worth paying him half the budget. And I have a question for you. So we only saw 1 minute and 50 seconds of this film, but he's got to know that the owner of this Wonderland is setting him up, because the spike strip, then he chugs an energy drink.
Punch. It's called Punch, by the way.
Oh, Punch. Oh, it's so beautiful.
Punch energy drink.
And then so, hey, I'll give you this job. If you clean up stuff, I'll fix your car. He knows something's up. I bet you he's going in there to wreck stuff. What do you think?
Yeah, there's something going on here that the trailer is trying to not let out. I mean, I saw this as a Western, a modern Western mashed with horror. This is a guy who doesn't speak. And it's, from what I understand from reading about this film, Nicolas Cage has basically no lines, like none. Even I bet he might have one line. But he doesn't speak. He's a silent, tough type. Comes into town, gets sent on a mission, and he doesn't leave because he has honor, and he said he was going to do it, so he's going to do it. And that's what I think is going on. And I hope it's that, actually.
The director called it Pale Rider, which you nailed. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Mm-hmm. Meets Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Oh, I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah. And I mean, you know what's interesting? When you say that, I see it from the trailer. Pale Rider, man who doesn't say much, comes into town and battles really silly creatures, killer clowns, or these animatronics. And the director said he took a lot of inspiration from Sam Raimi with this kind of gonzo filmmaking. He said his actors don't go as big, they play it more seriously. But he said the blood, the cameras, the vibe is more serious. But the director wanted to Kevin Lewis wanted to make an Evil Dead type film played a little more seriously without Bruce Willis. What did we call him? Throwing all the mush and gags in there. No, not Bruce. Bruce Campbell. Oh, that was bad. Yeah. Bruce Campbell throwing in all his B-movie stylings into it. But I mean, man, okay. Do these puppets have blood?
No, I don't think so. I think it's oil. I think it's oil? It's dark and it's going to look like blood to get what, a PG-13 rating? I bet this is an R. No, you kidding me? I bet this is an R rating.
Or maybe one of the things, like a human explodes on him. So that's why he's covered in blood later in the trailer?
Yeah, that's definitely be it. Yeah.
These kids seem like there's some pretty decent actors in this, though. Some of the kids that they got. Like, they're not... They've done a lot of work. So it's pretty interesting that this is a total cheapo film, but they seem to have gotten some talent in here, which is another smart idea.
I mean, if someone came to you, just like the movie producer who doubled the budget, someone came to you and was like, we have this movie with Nick Cage who's going to rage Cage throughout this entire thing. Rage Cage is his last 10 years, peak Cage. And they ask you to do it as an actor, it's going to take you a month. Would you not say yes? Right?
Oh, yeah. Wait, I'm only there for a few. Yeah, I'm only there for a few weeks. Sure, why not?
Yeah. There's no reason not to do this. This is 100% going to be a banger.
It looks like the actress in here that's talking to him, trying to tell him all the expository dialogue about the place being haunted. It's Emily Tosta, and she's been in Mayans FC, Party of Five, The Resident. I mean, that's a pretty big. She's been in some big films, so I don't know. I'm excited. Because sometimes you get these actors, you're like, who are these people? And it's just the line readings sound like, terrible. I don't know, horribly uncomfortable. But it looks like they've surrounded him with some decent talent. And these animatronics look cool. Like, there's some neat puppetry in here. There's some cool work done. It makes me happy.
Yeah. Are you nervous at all they're not going to pull out the animatronics? And I can explain why I'm asking this question. I watched the Banana Splits movie, which is a horror movie with animatronics in it. And it was terrible. Sorry, but I wrote that review. It's out there. I don't want to change my mind. But I always feel like animatronics can go to camp really quickly.
So the person responsible for the creature costumer, her name is Judy Bowerman, and she's worked on Congo. She was a suit fabricator for Stan Winston. She did The Island of Dr. Moreau, Lake Placid, Inspector Gadget. She did Evolution. She did Scary Movie 2. She did The Marijuana Plant, Ginger Snaps. And she also worked on The Lost World. And she also did costume construction for Universal Soldier. So the person that they got doing the special effects on this movie, she has been on, she's a Stan Winston person. So yes, the budget won't be a lot, but the talent that they got to make these movies, and then the creature designer as well, Kenneth J. Hall, like this is a guy who worked on Critters. He worked on, he's been working just constantly, Puppet Master movies. He did Carnosaur. So he's a Roger Corman person who knows how to work on a budget. So I think this movie's got some talent. I really do.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
I don't want to hate on the director, but the guy's made nothing but kind of B films that, and he hasn't made a movie in a long time. So, I'm just worried about what Kevin Lewis can bring to it, because you know what's interesting, David? Like, simple is not easy. If you think about some of the greatest horror films ever, the central concept of them is very simple, but they get messed up a lot. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles this as regards to kind of maybe falling into camp or forcing camp or not letting the camp be organic. That's what I could worry about a little bit, is you're exploiting Cage as opposed to, because Cage works best with a Cosmatos or a Stanley or a Spike Jonze. So it'll be interesting to see what happens here, or Werner Herzog. So
you let him improvise and then you cut down to what you need.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's my one thing is kind of how the director is able to handle this movie. But the special effects, acting, I think look great.
Yeah. Would you want to talk about some of our favorite moments from the trailer?
Yeah.
I want to do like 100 and.
Want to do top 5, top 3? What do you want to do?
I don't know if I could do top 5. Let's do top 3.
Okay. I got
these are not in particular order, honestly. These are just like 3 moments we should pay attention to.
The pinball disco dancing.
Number one, 2.
Yeah,
I saw that and I was like, that's the Nick Cage freak out moment. That's what people are paying for right there.
He's disco dancing and playing pinball. There's nothing better than that. I love it.
Yeah.
Makes me so happy.
Absolutely.
What's yours?
Well, I would say when he murders the animatronic ostrich.
Yes.
Because I think ostriches are dumb looking. And I was like, take it out on that ostrich. I don't like you.
Oh, man. He's just whomping on that thing. He's playing drums on it.
But the way they cut it is like he doesn't even hesitate. He just like breaks his mop in half. He's like, I guess I'm killing animatronic ostrich.
Zero thought. Oh, it's beautiful. It's very. I wonder if he's channeling his Kurt Russell from Soldier.
Oh yeah. It's been a long time since I've seen that one.
I mean, we got to say the beginning, right, where his Chevy gets the tires spikes, take out his tires. He looks around and then he just immediately chugs an energy drink. I mean, it's just Punch.
I literally stopped it and froze the screen to see what the name was. And when I saw it was Punch, I was like, I'm in so hard.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I would also point to when they say he's not trapped in here with them. They're trapped here with him.
How does she know that?
I think I screwed that up. I screwed that up. But it was big. Oh my God, Watchmen vibes. It's also